Welcome to Bartell's Money Talk, your go-to podcast for financial empowerment and insight. Let's dive in.
And I would like for you to tell me exactly how do you help individuals find financial freedom?
Uh, we have two main phone calls, although there are a couple of other things. One helps you save hundreds of thousands of dollars on your house mortgage, and the other will give you hundreds of thousands of dollars for the rest of your life. The first one that came into my life was about 5 years ago, and it revolutionized everything. That is our tool and team that helps you look right at a specific calculator for your income and expenses and help you to pay off your house in 5 to 7 years. And it changed everything. We had our house, we had moved 15 times, just job changes, lots of things. And every
Mhm.
time you move, you have to start over on the darn 30-year mortgage thing. And so to be able to have those tools and that calculator and actually see the bank balance on our mortgage going down by thousands of dollars every month, even without changing our income and expenses, it was life-changing for me. And you can get that money back out if you have an emergency. It's for people that don't even have a house yet, or if they're already in a house and they want to find a way to pay that down faster or use it to help buy passive income, earn more money so you can pay the house even better. And I'm just grateful. I feel very blessed to be able to share that with people. It's way easier than you think. And we had people holding our hand all along the way to show us what to do. And it was very good.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to dive into that a little deeper, but for now, I would like for you to tell the listeners exactly who you are and what do you do?
I I run LifeGiver Legacy. That's our company, but we have a social handle at Ann's Plan, and that gives people all of these steps so they can protect what they already have with wills and other trusts and things like that, but also just have more income coming in and less going out, specifically about their house payment, like we mentioned, but also just there are lots and lots of people selling businesses right now. Usually they've owned the business for 25, 30 years and they want to
Mhm.
retire. But we have a team that helps us manage those. So it doesn't take a lot of my time and it creates more income for our family. My favorite thing now is to be a grandma, and I love anything that involves chocolate. So when I can just have things automated and systems and teams to help
Mhm.
me have that extra income coming in and have less going out, less taxes, less house payment, it's kind of a win both ways. And I know people are concerned now. So I think for me, it's just I'm a hope warrior. I want to give people some hope and easy steps to get from where they are to where they want to be, whether they're just starting out or they're like in their 50s, like I was a few years ago,
Mhm.
and going, oh my gosh, we've got to get this figured out. Right.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
yeah.
So what made you pursue this route? And then like how did you find out about it because in my eyes it feels like a hidden secret.
I know, right? Oh,
Yes.
I've, like I said, we moved so many times that I couldn't see our mortgage. We weren't even making a dent.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that happens more and more now with jobs and different things. Plus, then you have like when what happened first was our kids were 3 years and under. Larry, my husband, was the only breadwinner at the time. I'm taking care of little ones, and
Mhm.
he got laid off. And I went, our go to school, get a good job plan just kind of went and blew up, and I had no control over it. And I know that
Mhm.
happens for families, and so we kind of went on a hunt, a treasure hunt, as you said, hidden knowledge. What you don't know that you don't know is the thing that's costing all of us the most. If we don't know something, but we don't even know that we don't know it, then
Oh,
we all end up
yes.
paying for things. And I didn't know how to get our mortgage to work for us, to help pay for emergencies like that, to make sure that the house payment was more affordable and it worked for what we needed. We didn't even have to change our income or expenses at all. And all of a sudden, within 2 years, we had half of it paid off. And then we could pull that back out again to purchase real estate or anything else that we wanted to be investing in to create more income. And that would just pay it down faster, right? So It's just
Mm-hmm.
something I didn't know that I didn't know. And when we had a team teaching us and helping us, and just here's what you can do next, here's what you can do next, it became like a little recipe that made it so anyone could follow it and start. And then that I love chocolate and I love cooking, but it has to be like 5 ingredients or less, and just
Mm-hmm.
put it in a crock pot and I know what's for dinner, right? Like I'm not going to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what this
Mm-hmm.
was. It just became a financial crock pot, really.
Well, that
And
is great. And
yeah,
so, but you mentioned a calculator, and
yeah,
surely it takes a little more than a calculator, right, for someone to pay their home off and not
yeah.
increase their income?
That's why we hired that team to help us, because they knew how to make the right kind of mortgage, the right kind of company. Not every lender knows how to do it, sadly, but in Australia and New Zealand, that's how they always do their houses. We just don't teach people that here in the United States. So it was the cost of what I didn't know that I didn't know. And I'm happy to send that to people. Um,
Yes.
they
Well,
can email
yes.
me and I can get them the info. So no problem.
Right. That would be so great. But then can you explain how Australia, how do they do their mortgages? Do they break it up every 10 years? Can you explain it? Because I don't even know how they do it.
Yeah, I know, right? It's called a line of credit instead of a mortgage. And
Oh,
we literally went to our local bank and they didn't know how to do it. But we asked that team and they had specific lenders right for our area right there, and we went to those specific people that could help us. And so I was very grateful, because I would have been hunting for another 10 or 15 years to try and find it on my own. And I don't want to be 85 years old still trying to
right.
figure things out, right? So,
Right. You're listening to another episode of Bartell's Money Talk. We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. Take charge of your financial future with Bartell's Financial Coaching, led by Teresa Bartell. We offer personalized guidance to overcome debt and achieve financial peace. Our results-oriented approach provides actionable strategies for lasting change, no matter your background. We welcome you to schedule a free consultation today at 830-252-0320. Start your journey towards a brighter financial future today. And so, with this line of credit, are people able to pay their homes off quicker that way instead of getting a mortgage?
yeah, yeah. You can change the mortgage that you do have, or if you don't have a house and you want to get one, it's very easy to do it. Ours was no closing costs, no appraisal fees or anything. So they just teach you which lenders to use and how to get that all set up. It was so worth it. It saved us hundreds of thousands of dollars on interest. So,
So,
yeah,
if we found a home for $350,000, we
yeah.
can get that home without a mortgage. We could get a line of credit and actually pay it off.
Yeah, yeah. And I think they go up to 1 million, or, larger homes too. Ours was 300 when we bought it. So it was like that. Hmm.
And it really is designed for you to pay it off early. So, now with that type of loan, is it like a 15-year loan, 30-year loan, or do you get to decide how long you
You
want it
get
to
to
be? How does
decide.
that work?
Yeah, you get to decide. And you can always take the money back in and out. Like if we got laid off again, Larry would be able to stop working for about 5 years because of how the house payment works. It would pay for itself for several more years, and that would give us time to find another job or buy a business, or you just have options, because you're not. When that happened to us and we got laid off and we didn't know this, I was like, oh, we have a house payment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And still have bills. And the bank doesn't say, oh, sorry, you lost your job, I guess you don't need to make a house payment this month. But this one does. This one, you can
Really?
work that out. Hmm. Yep.
Wow, that's something else. And another thing that intrigued me about you was this 10K a month.
Yeah.
So you have to talk to us. What is that exactly?
That's my second phone call. I love that phone call. I just wanted to boil it down to the crock pot and give you two phone calls. And one was to save all that money on the house, and the other one was to get more income coming in. That is having people help you look for those businesses where someone's owned it for 30, 40 years and it's going well, it's already set
Mhm.
up, and they just help you look for those and then help you finance them and even help you manage them after you buy them. So some companies already have management in place, and so you don't need that. But if you did, then they could help with that too. And so that's why I can hop on a call like this one that we're having for an
Mhm.
hour and just get an update of everything that's happened that week with the business. Did we have to hire someone new? How did we do? And what's happening? And they're in charge of the day-to-day operations, which really helps me. I have other things I want to be working on, and
Mhm.
having that extra income for me meant, there are things that are important to me, like people
Right.
that don't have food and water and clothing.
Mhm.
I could help a little more now with that because $20 helps a child have education for a year. So every time I have an extra
Mhm.
$20, the cost of pizza,
Right.
I can use some of my pizza money to go help some people, right? And so, anyway, it was just very helpful to me to have, again, a team that handholds you and walks you through that
Mhm.
process to get everything finished.
Mhm.
So,
Okay, so then my next question would be, so if someone is selling their business and that
yeah.
business is $250,000, but they don't have money, how do you help people fund a purchase of that size for a business?
Oh, there are plenty of lenders. We have hundreds of them, and they help you find the right one. Again, just like they did with the team that helps us with our house, the business
Mhm.
team helps us get all that financing in place. And oftentimes, sometimes nothing out of pocket. Sometimes you need to have a little bit saved up,
Uh-huh.
but that's why the house helped us so much, because it let me have access to more funds that I could use for down payment. And it really, yeah, it really started helping a lot for my kids that are in their 20s
Mhm.
and going, how do we even get to a good place? Like, where do we
Mhm.
start? What do we do?
Mhm. So you're able to make income off of your businesses that you purchased. So how do you bring in your extra income if you're retired and you have your business? Because that's a piece that I think the listeners are probably trying to figure out too. So if you got
Right.
this line of credit and then you're able to help individuals purchase businesses, where does the
Yeah.
income come in if you have a property management company?
Yeah, it'd be like a property management company for rentals, but it's a business management company that does that for us. And they show us where they're looking. You get to pick. Like, I'm interested
Mhm.
in this type of business. It needs to have been open this long and have this much profit every year after all the expenses. So before you buy it, kind of like you do when you buy a house.
Huh.
It's got 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and all the things. So all of that gets checked out before you buy it, so you don't have to worry.
Well, wow. Because most of the time, you have to have some type of network, to make purchases like this. Would
Right?
that be required of a buyer to have
No,
a
they'll
net
look
worth?
at it, but oftentimes it's about the business itself. Like, especially if they have some equipment or land
Mhm.
already included in the business,
Mhm.
that can
Mhm.
that can help with financing for sure. Like it does when you buy a house, if you already have some land and you just put a house on there. So businesses
Okay.
are
All
kind
right.
of similar. Yeah.
Okay.
It was
So
it was good.
that's wonderful, wonderful. So now with you, because you've been around the block, you've experienced raising children, and you've experienced your husband being
Yeah.
laid off.
Yeah.
So after going through all of that, how can you recommend the listeners to save their money and build their income? Because now with the economy,
I
things
know.
are pretty shaky, and as of today, they're talking about a government shutdown where a lot of people may lose their jobs.
Jobs. Right.
Yes, so
Yeah.
how do people build their income and
I
their
think I
savings?
think that first phone call, if they want to own a house or they do have a house,
Mhm.
let it pay for itself. This is the first house that I've lived in that it pays for itself, and I wish I had known it 15 houses ago. Like, I would have kept all of those houses, right? Paid them off, and I would still own them. Just because we can't always control when we lose a job or when we have a health challenge or an accident or all those things. And this gives you a
Okay.
chance to say, if you have that phone call that we offer and the calculator and the little ebook that's free, then you'll at least have some options to look at. And I've never been able to pay a house off $200,000 in 2 years,
Hmm.
but this taught me how to do it, and I am so grateful. It was life changing because what we had never been able to do that before this last.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I would do.
Okay.
If you're worried about jobs and worried about the economy, I'd have that first phone call. Don't even worry about the business things. Just
Hmm.
focus. If let's get your house to be safe and that you won't lose your house because of anything that happens. Right.
Perfect. That's beautiful. So, can you
Yeah.
explain to the listeners, number one, exactly what is the first phone call? And then also explain what that ebook is, because if we can encourage people to at least go on and
I
get that
know.
ebook, they
I
may be
know.
encouraged to make that first phone call.
Right. It's called the 30-year mortgage lie. And that word lie makes me go, but it's because, that's all we're taught. You got to do a 30-year mortgage and it's going to take forever to pay it off. That if you buy that $300,000 house,
Mhm.
you paid $600,000 in interest by the time you're done.
Oh,
even if
yes.
you, even if you only have a 2 or 3% interest rate, it's
Uh-huh.
really that total amount of interest that you're paying. Instead, now that I have the line of credit, the interest is way lower. I have way more control over the payments and all the things that we just don't know what we don't know about mortgages. So that 30-year mortgage lie is the book, and it was quite eye opening. Even
Okay.
anyway, I recommend it. Just to what you don't know that you don't know is costing you millions of dollars. All
Yes,
of
it
us.
is. It
All of
is.
us.
It is. All
It
of
is.
us. And so if
Mm-hmm.
someone is listening to you now and they're like, well, what exactly is this phone call? Can you give them a little information about what the phone call is so that they can determine
Yeah.
if they should make that first phone call?
Yeah, that there's a little video that you watch. I call it 20-minute video to save 20 years of your house payment. And after you
Mm-hmm.
watch that, then there's a schedule call button, and that is their chance to just literally go through your specific income and expenses with you. Brief phone call, no sales pitch, just, is this going to work for you, and how would it work? Like in 12 months from now, how much of your house would be paid off, and in another 12 months after that, how much more? Right. So we had that same phone call, our family.
Mm-hmm.
And when I
Mm-hmm.
started realizing it was going to pay off 100, 200,000 within a couple of years, I was like, oh my gosh, this would be so amazing and so helpful for where we live. And you can do it for rental properties too, but most people are just starting to try and get their own house first. So
Right, right. And so with that, with the line of credit, I'm sure somebody may be wondering, if you pass, or if you and your husband both pass,
yeah.
will your home be passed to your heirs? What happens to your
Yeah,
home?
that's a great question. Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's that's all part of the other thing that we offer to people, the estate and trust planning and making sure that everything moves to our children. So
Oh, wonderful,
yeah.
wonderful. Well, and it has been such a pleasure to have you on here. So now I need you to tell the listeners exactly who needs to find you.
Oh, anyone that wants to figure out how to pay that darn house off faster and to have more income coming in, I I really, really like to see. I had a friend that said, "Oh, I got
Mhm.
25 more years on my mortgage. 25 more
Mhm.
years. We just refinanced into this really low interest rate." And she had that phone call and it cut it down to 3. She'll be done in 3 years. And that was awesome for me because she's doing the same thing that we did. And anyway, so people that want their house to not be such a crazy payment all the time, and to have an opportunity to just learn about other ways to have income coming in. So
Okay, well that is great. And so once they say, "Oh, I need to call her," where's the best place for them to find you?
the best email is ann@lifegiverlegacy.com. That will go to
Okay.
me and my team and give you some options to just have access to lots of free information so that what you don't know that you don't know doesn't cost you so much. I'm grateful for it now. But Ann at LifeGiverLegacy.com is a great way to touch base and just ask questions. I'm right there. So
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Ann, I want to welcome you again to Bartell's Money Talk. Now that I can personally thank you so much for sharing this information with me, listeners. If you are curious about what she offers, if you are curious about getting rid of your mortgage, make that first phone call, check out the ebook, and then you determine for yourself if
yeah,
this would be a good fit for you. And then you can look Ann up. So,
yeah,
again, thank you so much. And
yeah.
if you
Thank
enjoyed
you.
our content, yes, please like it, share it, and subscribe. And we will see you again next week. Thank you for
Thank you.
watching, or thank you for listening.
That's all for today's episode of Bartell's Money Talk. We hope you found our discussion insightful and empowering.
If you want to stay connected and access more tips and resources, don't forget to subscribe to Bartell's Money Talk on your preferred podcast platform.
And please consider leaving us a review. Your feedback helps us improve and reach more listeners like you.
For even more financial guidance and exclusive content, visit our website at bartellscoaching.com.
Until next time, remember, the journey to financial freedom is within reach.
I'm Teresa.
And I'm Johnny Bartell, signing off. Take care, and here's to your financial success.